Tired of the state of so-called popular music? Sick of searching everywhere for authentic bands and musicians?
Now you've seen how bad things can get and how quick they can get that way.
Got the overproduced, under-talented auto-tune blues?
Yeah!
Then keep it tuned. Real music is on the way. This is Almost Famous. Your home, the best local musicians, and select live performances.
Here's Johnny.
Here's John Shea.
Hour 2 of Almost Famous begins now.
Hello, welcome to the second hour of Almost Famous here on 95.9 WATD at 9:01. We are brought to you each week by Tiny & Sons Glass, Route 53 in Pembroke, online at tinyandsons.com, and Weymouth Bank, with 2 locations in Weymouth, 1 in Kingston, trusted by families and businesses for 125 years. My name is John, and this is where you get to hear some live local music, and we are being joined in studio tonight by Ava Suppelsa. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes, that was great.
Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here.
I am too. Now, for those who might not know, who is Ava Suppelsa?
I am a singer-songwriter, kind of like a folk country pop singer-songwriter. I'm from Chicago, a suburb called Evanston, Illinois, and I'm currently a freshman at Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming down to Marshfield tonight. We really appreciate this. We're excited to hear your music tonight.
I'm really excited to be here. It's such a great opportunity and a great show.
My pleasure. So let's not waste any time. Let's go right into your first song. What do you have prepared for us tonight?
This first one is an original of mine called This Time, and was actually the first song of mine to be played. John played my song This Time, the recording of it, a few months ago, I think, which is how we got to know each other. So, yeah,
Excellent.
This is the acoustic version of This Time.
All right, Ava Suppelsa on WATD. Take it away.
Are falling faster now, the sky is turning gray. I'm marking X's on calendars, so far it's been 24 days. The summer breeze has shifted to a wind that bites my skin. I didn't know until I felt that our ice was getting thin. And the wind started blowing and the storm started growing. When the going got tough, well, you got going. Well, it gets hard and it gets rough. When you're good isn't good enough. What could I say to make you change your mind and say you're coming back this time, and say you're coming back this time? Say distance makes the heart grow fonder, and distance makes the love grow stronger. But distance only made you wander farther away from me. And love's just not the fairy tale that it's all cracked up to be. They don't tell you that your knight in armor won't shine when you can't see. And the wind starts blowing and the storm starts growing. When the going gets tough, well, hell, get going. Well, it gets hard and it gets rough. When you're good isn't good enough. What could I say to make you change your mind and say you're coming back this time? I'm up in Michigan is where I'm missing you. Still got the memories race through my head, and my heart don't think clearly. I'm just crazy, baby, or maybe just for you. Well, it gets hard and it gets rough when your gut isn't good enough. What could I say to make you change your mind and say you're coming back this time? Say you're coming back this time. Oh, tell me you'll come back this time.
Ava Suppelsa here on 95.9 WATD on the tiny stage tonight here on Almost Famous. Beautiful job on that. That was really nice.
Thank you so much.
Could you share the story behind that?
Yeah, that song I wrote about 3 years ago, actually. It was kind of the first song that I wrote that I really, really liked, and it kind of became like my baby. I ended up playing, people asked me to play that song, you know, if they asked me to play somewhere, and I submitted to a few competitions, and it did pretty well, and it just kind of, I worked on it the longest. I rewrote it a million times, and I wrote it, based off of truth, kind of a failed relationship as a teenager when I went to boarding school in northern Michigan to study arts when I was 16, to study in a singer-songwriter program for high school, and I wrote it when I moved there and broke up with my first real boyfriend.
It's a great story too, behind it.
Thank you so much.
Let's throw the phone number out. If anybody wants to call in and say hi to Ava on the air tonight, 781-837-4900. 781-837-4900. Call in, say hi tonight. We'll chat on air. Maybe you can make a request. If you know Ava, say hi. So what inspired you to go into music? What attracted you to songwriting and music in general?
I think I've been told that I was singing since a baby, since I was, since before I could talk, and I grew up playing piano, and I started teaching myself guitar and loved musical theater and all that kind of stuff, and then songwriting kind of became like just my own personal release for emotions, kind of like a diary, except it incorporated what I loved most, which was singing. And the person that really influenced that was actually Taylor Swift. I was about 12 or 13 when her first, album came out, and I've always loved that style of music, the kind of country crossover style. And her first song, Teardrops on My Guitar, that got really popular, was like the anthem of my 12-year-old life. And I loved it and just wanted to be just like her. So I started writing songs, and since then have, obviously expanded artists that inspire me and everything. But that's what really got me writing.
That's great. Now, what other artists have inspired you, maybe more recently?
James Taylor has become a big inspiration for me. I started listening to his music later in life. Around like 16 or 17, I kind of started discovering his music more on my own, outside of my parents' influence and everything. And his songwriting has been really influential, as well as some more current songwriters like Casey Musgraves, who is kind of like up and coming in the country pop genre. And I'm a really big fan of hers and her songwriting.
Well, James Taylor, especially because he's local as well. I mean, he's kind of the god of Boston folk music, you might say.
Yes, definitely. And his brother actually works at Berkeley. So
Livingston.
Yep, I get to
he teaches songwriting.
Sometimes. Yep, yeah, he's great.
He plays around here too every once in a while in some of the local coffee houses. He pops in and plays. He's also amazing. So you're from, you said originally from Chicago.
Yes.
How would you compare maybe the Chicago music scene to what's happening here in our city of Boston?
I would say that they're actually very similar. Chicago's obviously a little bit bigger just because the city itself is bigger in nature, but I think that they're similar in the fact that they're smaller markets rather than, L.A., New York, Nashville, but they still are big enough cities that there's it's a big hub for kind of like underground music. And I've noticed, especially with like the rock and the punk live music scenes, there's some big crossovers there. But in my experience as a singer-songwriter, it's been similar, maybe even more welcoming in Boston, just because it is smaller, and I've been able to find more groups like the New England to Nashville group and the emerging Boston area singer-songwriters that have really been welcoming to me as I just moved here this year to start, playing out and finding resources like Almost Famous and stuff like that.
Well, thank you. Obviously, people like Matt Casey and Haley are both, driving forces when it comes to Haley McGee are driving forces when it comes to promoting local music, and not only promoting but supporting fellow musicians and songwriters like yourself. They're the absolute best at that.
Exactly, they've been great.
So let's continue on now with your music. What do we have next?
This song is called James Dean, and it's going to be the first single off my EP that I am releasing starting in this coming fall. So, this one will be coming out first, probably in the beginning of October. And, this is James Dean.
Fantastic. Ava Suppelsa here on 95.9 WATD. It's all yours.
I bought an old disposable camera, and I'm taking pictures of you laughing in the bathroom. People keep on asking me why so old-fashioned. I don't think they understand the way you're making me feel, like dancing on a Sunday to my parents' old records in the living room. We look just like a black and white movie when you take my hand and spin me to you. Love me with the James Dean passion, and I love the way you love me old-fashioned. The other night you showed up at my door, and you promised my dad I'd be home before dark. You drove me away in your old beater car in 1984 to a roller skate park. I knew it was love when you held my hand as I tried to stand, and you trip and fall. I laugh until I end up in the middle of the floor with you. Love me with the James Dean passion, and I love the way you love me old-fashioned. Oh, I love the way you love me old-fashioned. There's no expiration date on a timeless love, but honey, time won't wait for us. I've seen the past with you, I can't predict the future, but I know we'll be okay. 'Cause you got me dancing on a Sunday to my parents' old records in the living room. We look just like a black and white movie when you take my hand and spin me to you. Love me with the James Dean passion, and I love the way you love me. You got me dancing on a Sunday to my parents' old records in the living room. We look just like a black and white movie when you take my hand and spin me to you. Love me with the James Dean passion, and I love the way you love me old-fashioned. Yeah, the way you love me old-fashioned. The way you love me old-fashioned.
Ava Suppelsa here on 95.9 WATD. It's on the tiny stage. Follow us online at facebook.com/almostfamousradio. James Dean, what's the story behind that?
That one actually came from, I wrote that last summer, and the very first line, which is, I bought an old disposable camera, is actually where I got the inspiration, because I actually did buy a disposable camera and was going around, and I always had to ask people to take the pictures for me because you can't do selfies on that, and I was asking people, and they saw me holding an iPhone, and they were always, every single person was very confused as to why I would do something so archaic when I have, modern technology at my fingertips. But I thought it was fun, and it was really fun developing all the photos after. And I wrote that song going into it just thinking what it might have been like to grow up and be a teenager in the time when my parents were back, roller skate parks and, before Facebook and all that. And it's great growing up in this era, but I was just, reflecting on what it might have been like, and that's where the song came from.
Excellent. Speaking of Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, where can people find you?
I'm on Facebook at facebook.com/Ava Suppelsa Music, or you can just search Ava Suppelsa. Twitter is just Ava Suppelsa, Instagram, Ava Suppelsa Music, and then I've got a website, which is www.avasuppelsa.com.
And you've got some upcoming shows, too, to promote.
I do, yes. This Thursday, I'm playing at Club Bohemia at the Cantab Lounge in Cambridge, and I go on at 8 p.m., and there's a full set of people after me throughout the night. And then this Saturday, the 16th, I'll be playing at Barlow's Restaurant in South Boston at 8:30 p.m.
Fantastic. We have Ava Suppelsa live in studio tonight here on 95.9 WATD. At what point did you realize that songwriting was for you? Like that was your calling in life, to be a songwriter?
I think, maybe when I really started to realize how much I loved it just for me, even if no one heard the songs, it was really just a great escape for myself, which was, 13 years old. But I think when I really started taking it seriously and realizing that not only did I like what I did, but some other people liked it as well, and I thought, I could actually do this with my life, and I would be only happy doing this with my life, which was probably when I was 16 or 17 when I first went to this art school for high school and met other people who were like me and were so interested in this, and that was when it really became real that people actually do this for careers, instead of people saying, oh, you gotta have a backup career. People were telling me, you can do this, you don't need a backup career, and, you're good enough to do this. So I think, mid-teenage years.
That's great. And then what brought you to Berkeley and Boston? Just following that pattern?
Yeah, just Berkeley is obviously known to be the best contemporary music school in the country, and I'm a huge John Mayer fan, and he went to Berkeley only for like one semester or something, but he talks about Berkeley a lot, and I know a ton of people who've gone there, and it seemed like a really, really great creative place, and just the place that I wanted to pursue music.
Fantastic. Well, the time right now is 8:19. We have to take our first break of the 9 o'clock hour, but you've got more songs left in you, right?
I do, yes.
All right, we'll do more with Ava Suppelsa right after this here on 95.9 WATD. This is Almost Famous. And we have Ava Suppelsa live in studio tonight here on the tiny stage on Almost Famous 95.9 WATD. My name is John Shea. A reminder that we are brought to you each Tuesday night, 8 till 10 p.m. by Tiny & Sons Glass, Route 53 in Pembroke, online at tinyandsons.com, and Weymouth Bank, with 2 locations in Weymouth, 1 in Kingston, trusted by families and businesses for 125 years. Thanks to them for supporting local music in our community. And on the tiny stage, Ava Suppelsa. Ava, how you doing in there tonight?
I'm doing great, thank you.
You're sounding awesome tonight.
Thank you so much.
Just a heads up, too, in a few minutes, we'll have Christine James, our news director, checking in with some election results in our community, some local towns having some elections tonight, and she'll have all those results in a matter of moments. But let's go into another song, Ava. What do you have next?
This song is called Finish Line, and it's probably the most important song to me that I've ever written. And a few years ago, my father, who I love very much and is like my biggest inspiration in life, he checked himself into rehab for alcoholism. And I wrote this song reflecting on it, and also kind of to try and bring light to a side of mental illness that isn't talked about, which is addiction. And so this song is from my perspective and on growing up and living, with that kind of being a part of my life. And I've wanted to be able to use this song to hopefully reach other people who are either struggling with it or loving someone who has an addiction.
Let's hear it. Ava Suppelsa here on 95.9 WATD. The microphone is yours.
out the light, looks under my bed, no monsters in sight. He is the hero in my life. He goes downstairs and counts to 10. He's trying hard not to cave in, but the top shelf is haunting him. And nobody knows the trouble he's in. Like hell on earth, he wants to quit, but he needs the fire. He takes a sip and lets it burn him down. That sweet relief, it tastes so bad, 'cause his sleeping children take over his head. He never lets me know what daddy drinks before bed. And the pain, it eats him alive, 'cause he fears that he's disappointing his family, his wife. Trapped inside this anonymous life, he lets it burn him down. One day at a time, he fights for sobriety, living in a war that he's battling silently. He can almost see the other side, 12 steps away from the winning mile, and he'll make it just in time. We'll be waiting at the finish line. Since he got clean, that sweet surrender set him free. He lives his life in the glow of serenity, and he shows me that strength comes from facing your demons, and wisdom comes from admitting your weakness. He doesn't know, but he teaches me greatness with every day he's free. One day at a time, he lives in sobriety, conquering a war that he's battled so silently. Life is always brighter on the other side, 12 steps away from the winning mile, and he made it just in time. With one day at a time, he lives in sobriety, conquering a war that he's battled so silently. Steps away from the winning mile, and he made it just in time. Dad, we're on your side. He is the hero in my life.
That is amazing. Nice job on that.
Thank you so much.
Ava Suppelsa here on 95.9 WATD. How long did it take to write that song?
This was a really hard one to write. I worked on it for probably a month, I think, just because, you know, I'm telling someone else's story as well as mine, and obviously it's a very emotional topic, and I wanted to capture it just right for both myself and my father and other people who are going through this. So, yeah, kind of the longest I've ever worked on a song.
That's incredible. Now, you said you want to take that song eventually and use it to help other people going through similar situations. How do you envision that happening?
Well, so far I've started playing it at a few different like showcases that are specifically geared toward mental health awareness at Berkeley, and I'm playing at a function to help in Chicago for lawyers that struggle with addiction, actually. And then I'm also releasing this on my EP as well, and I'm hoping to use the song and film a music video for it, and try and spread awareness actually for the organization that my dad went to treatment through, which is Hazelden, the Hazelden Foundation, because they're doing amazing things. Eric Clapton actually went to that program for his treatment, and I'd like to spread awareness and donate some of the money from my EP to that foundation.
That's amazing. You know, if we can do anything to help here, let us know at WATD, because we'd be glad to get behind that and push that out to organizations ourselves.
Thank you so much. That would be awesome.
So we have Ava Suppelsa in studio tonight here on WATD. Let's run down those list of shows one more time, if you will.
Yes. This Thursday, the 14th, I'll be at the Cantab Lounge in Club Bohemia at 8 p.m., and I'll be playing from 8 to 9. And then this Saturday, the 16th, I'll be at Barlow's Restaurant in South Boston at 8:30 p.m. for 3 hours, just playing some music. They've got great food, great bar. So, yep.
Excellent. And you mentioned earlier, some of your mainstream influences like Taylor Swift. How about on a more local level? Who are you listening to locally in the Boston music scene?
Locally, I think a lot of influence that I get are from Berkeley, just because I'm kind of in they call it the Berkeley bubble right now. There's so much stuff going on just at Berkeley that it's hard to take it all in and before you can, move on outside of that. But at Berkeley, there's a few bands that I have really, really loved the music of. One of them is called The Walk Off, and they're a really great group. Another one, actually, the kid lives down the hall from me, and they were here a few weeks ago, Sleeping Lion, and they're not necessarily the same genre as me at all, but great. They're electronic, kind of vocal electronic stuff, and they are great songwriters, great musicians, and I'm like big fans of them, as well as friends of theirs. But yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're kind of electronic-based folk music, which is kind of a weird combination, but they make it work somehow. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really innovative and really cool.
Very cool. We have Ava Suppelsa in studio tonight. So if you, looking down the road, if you could picture your career and your life maybe 5 years from now, where do you see yourself?
5 years from now, I ideally see myself in Nashville, I think, just because it's always been a dream of mine to live down there. And I would love to, the ideal goal would be to have a publishing deal and get to start writing for other people, just because I love songwriting. I love performing too, but songwriting is kind of my main passion, and I'd love to get my foot in the door down in Nashville as a writer, and just honestly making a living off of my music. I want music to be a day job and a night job, which is my ultimate goal.
Fantastic. And is guitar your primary instrument?
Yeah, it is. I play piano as well, but I prefer the guitar, and I'm more comfortable with it.
Excellent. Let's just keep on going. Let's hear some more music. What do you have next?
Okay. This one is called He Told Me, and it's probably the countryest song I've ever written, I guess you could say.
All right, let's hear it.
Does it taste like me when he's kissing you? Did you see this coming many months before? When I let you into my life, I never should have opened that door. So don't go thinking that you're special or nothing. I know you think you've got him, but I never really lost him. Don't go falling in love with my man, 'cause he's still lying in the palm of my hand. When he's looking at you, he's seeing me. I can promise you I'm there in his dreams. Honey, his first is something you'll never be. So you can try, but you won't replace me. Girl, he's only with you 'cause he's lonely. If you're wondering how I know, it's 'cause he told me. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder if you think of me when you're running that little pale hand down the front of his button-down tee. And if I close my eyes, I can almost see you undoing those buttons. But did he tell you that shirt was bought by me? So don't go thinking that you're special or nothing. I know you think you've got him, but I never really lost him. Go falling in love with my man, 'cause he's still lying in the palm of my hand. When he's looking at you, he's seeing me. I can promise you I'm there in his dreams. Honey, his first is something you'll never be. So you can try, but you won't replace me. Girl, he's only with you 'cause he's lonely. If you're Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, but hand-me-downs, they always go cheaper. You should know now the first cut runs deeper, so don't be surprised if I'm the name that he whispers. And finders, keepers, losers, weepers, but hand-me-downs, they always go cheaper. You should know now the first cut runs deeper. Don't be surprised if I'm the name that he whispers. 'Cause when he's looking at you, he's seeing me. I can promise you I'm there in his dreams. Honey, his first is something you'll never be. So you can try, but you won't replace me. Girl, he's only with you 'cause he's lonely. Yeah. When he's looking at you, he's seeing me. I can promise you I'm there in his dreams. Honey, his first is something you'll never be. So you can try, but you won't replace me. Girl, he's only with you 'cause he's lonely. If you're wondering how I know, it's 'cause he told me.
Ava Suppelsa on the tiny stage here on 95.9 WATD. What's the story behind that?
Well, that song I wrote this year, a few months ago, and back at this high school that I went to for songwriting, I had a private songwriting instructor, and he saw me for 2 years, all the songs that I've written, and at the end of the year, at the end of my senior year, he said, Ava, you have to write a mean song. Everything you write is so nice. And I was like, but that's just what I want to write about, you know? I don't feel like I'm a mean person, and what I write is kind of what reflects me. And he was like, no, you got to get some sass in there. And
Get mad.
Exactly. And I'm a big Miranda Lambert fan, and I think she writes the angry country songs best. I mean, she doesn't write all of them. She co-writes some of them, but whoever writes them for her, she sings them great, and they are awesome. And that, like, I was kind of inspired by one of her songs, which is called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, to write this, because I decided that he was right and I needed a sassy, angry song.
Fantastic. We have a new fan checking in, listening in Plymouth tonight.
Awesome.
Her name is Susan. Susan, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great.
That's good. It was really awesome, the last song that Eva sang regarding her father and his addiction. I struggle with alcohol myself, and it just really touched my heart to hear how she sang and supports him, and I just want her to know that it's so important to have family supporting you and to sing something so beautiful and so loving, you know, to help him through, because without that, the struggle's even harder.
Agreed. What do you
Thank
think?
you so much. Yeah, no, I completely agree, and it really means a lot to hear other people reach out who are going through similar things, and that's exactly what I was trying to do with the song, so that really is the nicest thing and the most touching thing somebody could say to me, so thank you.
Well, it touched my heart, you know, like, and I just said there's so much love and support there, and people that understand addiction, and, you know, like, it's an allergy, and I struggled with it for years, and I really don't have family support, and I do have family, you know, like, and it's just so beautiful to see you to put it into an art and words and sing in your voice and your words. It just really, you know, like, it soothes my pain, you know, like, and I'm not even your father.
Well, thank you.
You know, I don't mean to laugh that off, but I hope you understand what I was saying.
Completely.
Good, and your music is beautiful, and I wish you all the best. That little stage is so huge. I love WATD.
Thank you so much, Susan. We wish you all the best of luck, and thank you for listening tonight.
Okay, well, thank you, and I'll always listen, John. Okay?
Have a great night.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And let's go back to the tiny stage and say hello to Ava Suppelsa. How you doing tonight?
Great, thank you. How are you, John?
Doing great. Thank you for coming down here again. You're sounding so incredible tonight.
Thank you so much.
So the new EP is in the works right now. Is there a release date planned?
Not an official one yet, but I'm thinking that the release will be starting in October and going up through December.
Excellent. And any little tours planned to promote it?
Not yet. We'll have to see. I will definitely be in Boston when it's released, just because I have to go to school. And
that helps, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll be in my sophomore year at Berkeley at that point. But probably just continuing to play out a bunch around Massachusetts like I already am.
And I love, in the short time since I've known you, I've seen tons of posts. I mean, you seem to play out a couple times a week at least, promoting your music and playing. Any favorite venues so far since you've been in the city that you want to return to, or that you have returned to?
I've really loved, for different reasons. One, the Thunder Road Music Club in Somerville is an awesome setup. Like, up on that stage, I felt like, I had made it. Like, it was awesome up there. The lights, the sound was great. But a place that I didn't expect would be so awesome was a bar in Weymouth called the Cliffhanger Bar and Grill that I've played at twice now. And it's just a bar, and I'm kind of in the corner there playing background music for a few hours. But the people there are the most responsive I have met at any gig I've played. Everyone is so nice, singing along, so supportive of me. So that's been a really, really great one that I've played at.
Is there a dream venue with the exception of the Grand Ole Opry maybe? Is there a dream venue that you love to play at before you die?
Yeah, actually, there is a very specific one. There's one in Chicago called the Ravinia Festival, and all summer they've got a huge bowl amphitheater sort of thing, and then also they have speakers across a huge lawn, and they have pretty big acts come in, like James Taylor. The American Idol tour goes through there, One Republic, and it's a huge audience because you've got a big seating area as well as this lawn where people bring picnics and listen. And I actually, when I was 16, I worked in the gift shop there as a summer job, and because I loved being around music, and I would just love to go back there and be able to say I worked in the gift shop, minimum wage as a kid, and then to get to be on that huge stage would be amazing.
That's cool. Well, that could happen. You never know.
You never know.
Happen.
We'll see.
How about some fun on-stage moments? Any, maybe embarrassing on-stage moments, or anything that, comes to mind that you'll always remember?
Well, fun. I have embarrassing. That one comes to mind right away. I mean, I've forgotten the words to my own songs many times. I one time forgot the words. Well, I didn't forget. I just, messed up. I've played these songs over and over again, but I messed up the words to Fire and Rain by James Taylor, which is, arguably one of the most well-known songs of all time. So that was kind of embarrassing. Fun moments. I guess, the most memorable moment was last year I got to open up for a pretty big country artist, Hunter Hayes, who does, pop country music, and I've been listening to his music forever. And I went to a summer camp for music through the Grammy Foundation and the Recording Academy, and they invited me back with a few other kids to open for him at a show in LA during Grammy Week, and he was nominated for a Grammy, and that was probably the coolest performance I've ever gotten to do, because it was at a big theater in LA, and I didn't actually get to meet him, but I walked past him and kind of awkwardly freaked out when I saw him, and he noticed. That was, I guess, embarrassing, but too cool to be embarrassing. So that was pretty neat.
And he probably remembers you now too.
Maybe, hopefully.
So if you could go back maybe, 5 years and tell high school Ava something that you know now, what would it be?
I think I would say not to worry about the college process as much. There's so much pressure put on teenagers these days about, where you go to college, where you get into college. And my parents were always telling me, it's not the school you go to, it's what you do when you're at the school and what you do after. And I kind of was like, yeah, whatever. I want to go to the best school for what I can do. And my senior year, I actually didn't get into my dream school, which was University of Southern California, and I thought it was the end of the world. I was like, how am I going to make it in music now? I didn't get in, and Berkeley was definitely one of my top choices as well, but since I've been there, I've realized that it's really not the school that I went to. It's what I've been doing at the school. You can go to any school and get any degree, but if you're not working hard, it doesn't matter, and I'm happier than I ever imagined I would be, and I wish I could tell myself that, even 2 years ago, last year, that everything will work out, and that it's really about the work you put in.
That's some great advice for anybody, really. That's amazing. We have Ava Suppelsa in studio tonight. Let's do another song. What What do you have next?
This one is called Out of Love, and going off the college thing is actually what I played in my audition at Berkeley. So kind of cool looking back on it now at this point compared to when I wrote it and used it in my audition. He's got eyes crystallized, the kind you hold with both your hands. And he's got the sunrise in the back pocket of his pants. And he's got my words on the tip of his tongue. And he's got my heart wrapped around his thumb. But I don't know why I'm hopelessly devoted to this hopeless love of his. I don't know why I'm constantly pursuing a love that can't exist. Yeah, I don't know why I'm out of love like this. He's got laughter dripping from the corner of his smile. And he's got everybody watching, yeah, he's driving the whole world wild. But he'll never know just how many times I've tried to get the beauty of that laughter out of my mind. But I don't know why I'm hopelessly devoted to this hopeless love of his. I don't know why I'm constantly pursuing a love that can't exist. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm out of love like this. The love that lasts the longest is the love that is never returned. And the love we try the hardest for is the love that can never be earned. So why do I still try? Why am I still standing by? Hopelessly devoted to this hopeless love of his. I don't know why I'm constantly pursuing a love that can't exist. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I'm out of love like this.
That was amazing. Ava Suppelsa here on WATD.
Thank you.
Nice job on that. It was a kind of a jazzy influence. I hear a little bit in that.
Yeah, yep. That my dad always listened to Frank Sinatra, and he loves jazz growing up, so I definitely have an appreciation for that as well and like to incorporate it in my music.
Excellent. We have Ava Suppelsa in studio tonight. We have to take our final break of the 9 o'clock hour. We have Peter Black and the Wide World of Blues coming your way in about 10 minutes. Turntable Tuesday is what he's got in store for you tonight. The best blues on vinyl till 2 a.m. here on 95.9 WATD and 95.9 WATD.com. But I think we have time for one more song after the break. That sound good, Ava?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. We'll be back with more after this here on 95.9 WATD. And we're in studio tonight for a few more minutes with Ava Suppelsa. Ava, how are you tonight?
I'm doing really great.
You're sounding amazing. Thank you again for coming down to Marshfield.
Well, Thank you so much for having me. It's
My
been
pleasure.
a blast.
You have to come back soon because you sound great.
That would be great.
So let's recap. You've got a couple of shows coming up.
I do, yep. I've got one this Thursday, the 14th, at Club Bohemia at the Cantab Lounge in Cambridge, and then one this Saturday, the 16th, at Barlow's Restaurant in South Boston at 8:30 p.m.
And where can people find you online?
You can find me on Facebook, which is Ava Suppelsa, or facebook.com/Ava Suppelsa Music, Instagram, which is Ava Suppelsa Music, Twitter, Ava Suppelsa, and my website, www.avasuppelsa.com.
And the new EP in the works right now, due out for a date sometime in the summer?
Beginning of fall, probably.
Beginning of fall, excellent. And that'll be available up on your website as well?
Yeah, my website and iTunes and Spotify as well.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Again, we have Peter Black and the Wide World of Blues coming in for Turntable Tuesday, taking us up till 2 a.m. tonight, starting at 10. What's the song you're closing off the night with? And tell us the story behind that as well.
This one is called Sugar, and it's supposed to be just lighthearted and funny. And I wrote it true story about a boy who I met who I thought I liked at first, and then realized that he was maybe a little bit full of himself and decided that he deserved a song written about him. So this one is called Sugar.
All right, Ava, get home safely. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. I bet you think you're real smart, using your big words, yeah, you know you've got charm. I heard you think you've got me in the bag. I think you need to be knocked down a peg. Clap your hands if you're classy and you know it. Clap your hands if you really want to show it. Did you just give yourself a round of applause? A pat on your back, 'cause you know you've got it all. And I know you think that I'm head over heels, but I'll be the first to tell you how I feel. I think you're cute, but I think you think you're cuter. I tell you, but I don't think I need to reassure you. You're sweet, but don't go thinking that you're sugar. Don't go thinking that you're sugar. You're the king of well-rounded, and you've heard it all your life. So sweet, so smart, so cute, so grounded. The ground you're grounded on is 50 feet high. And I know you think that I'm head over heels, but I'll be the first to tell you how I feel. I think you're cute, but I think you think you're cuter. I tell you, but I don't think I need to reassure you. You're sweet, but don't go thinking that you're sugar. Tell the truth, I really thought I could like you. You've got a confidence and charm that I'm into, but there's no room for me. You were taken long ago by you yourself and your ego. And that's why I think you're cute, but I think you think you're cuter. I tell you, but I don't think I need to reassure you. You're sweet, but don't go thinking that you're sugar. Oh, don't go thinking that you're sugar. Don't go thinking that you're sugar.